Hey, how's it going? Been too long. But here we are again. My name's Craig of CraigTube, and this is the story of the Ufo Beer. This beer is special in a few ways. It was sent from Norway, a fellow by the name of Ola. And he's a very, very good friend of ours and a very nice fellow. He sent over quite a few beers actually, and over the years. This one's kind of special because, it's supposedly 20% alcohol. It's a home brew that he brewed himself with the help of a fellow named Chris, who calls himself Bean in our chat rooms. Chris sent him over some coffee. Chris had stories about UFOs that he has spotted. They got together kind of not physically because, Ola lives in Norway and Chris lives in the United States somewhere, Oregon. Anyway, so what I did was, I'm going to open this in a minute, but what I did was I did a live broadcast. Some of you may not even know that I do live broadcasts every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 5.5 hours long, live. And you can come in and you can chat in the chat room. And I even take Skype calls. Not a lot, but I do take some Skype calls. It's fun. It's at vaughn.live/CraigTube. Anyway, so what I did was during one of these broadcasts recently, I actually opened one of these and did a live review of it. Live on the air. I'm going to roll this clip now. It's not as clear as this, the video, because it's a live stream. I don't live stream at high resolution. Silly for just me sitting there playing music and talking. But this describes the beer. And then it's a little long. I'm not going to cut too much of it out because I want Ola to see it because he missed it. He wasn't there when this was broadcast. Then we'll come back and I'll open this and I'll drink it again. And I've got some updates for you just because I haven't made a video in a while. So let's roll this and I'll come back and we'll pour this and we'll talk. Michael Jackson, rock with you right here on your tube radio. Okay, I'm recording. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Okay, now this is what we've got. I'm probably going to do another YouTube video about this, but we're just going to keep this one recording. We'll see what we get out of it. Okay, so here's the story, guys and gals, of course. So here's the beer. I will show you the label. There it is, right there. Okay, so I'm going to read what Ola sent me. This is the story behind the beer. Okay, now I'm going to read this, and I don't read well out loud. Well, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know because on my radio show I read stuff all the time, but I usually rehearse those things ahead of time. This just came in today. So basically, what this says is, this is from Ola from Norway. It says the backstory of the UFO beer. He says, Bean, who's in our chat room right now, had told me about his UFO encounter, and sometime later, we talked about if I could brew a porter or a stout type of beer with a bit of a punch to it. Okay. He says, we did discuss the flavors and the strength for it for a couple of weeks until I landed on a workable recipe for it. And he also would like to include some coffee to it. Okay. Well, Bean did an interview regarding his UFO encounter. I think it might have been on a podcast or something like that. He mentioned his high-strength chocolate and coffee beer that was planned, and he ended up getting some coffee beans from the show. And the coffee was labeled with his drawing of how the UFO looked during his encounter. So then the beer had to, so that this is his words. So then the beer had to be called something with UFO in its name on the label. I hope I have the backstory of it correctly, and it is all just for the fun of it. So this is an idea that was conjured up between Bean and Ola, and this, I guess Bean sent the coffee to Ola. There's 2 types of coffee in it. So the beer has base malt, roasted malts, peated malt, specialty malts, and muscovado sugars. Hope I pronounced that right. After fermentation, added 500 milliliters of Death Wish coffee. Well, I'm looking forward to that. and 100 milliliters, 1,000 milliliters of UFO coffee. So there's 1.5 liters of coffee in this beer. Now, I don't drink coffee. I never drink coffee. So, but, it's not that much in this little bottle. Here's the label. There it is right there. I'm going to do a separate video on YouTube, but I am recording this anyway. So that's it. So I'm going to get my chat room up so I can see it. To get it up to the ABV, which is 20% alcohol, apparently, he had to use a specialty yeast called WLP009, a super high gravity yeast. I want some of that yeast. Forget the beer. Send me the yeast. I want some of that. Woo. Okay. And care for it by feeding it new batches of sugar every second or third day until he had reached a target original gravity for the beer. Then when it was finally finished fermenting, it was transferred to a keg and had been sitting in cold storage for about 9 months or so before bottling it. He says, me and Paul did draw a sample from it and tasted it after just 3 or 4 months, but by then it was not very good. But after 8 months in a cold storage, it had turned around and it became very nice. I hope it still is good after the shipping and storage in the PET bottles. And then he went on to talk about some honey he sent me, which came from his friend's place where they were building the airplane. His friend's got some bees going on. The honey is absolutely delicious. It's incredible. So, okay. So here's the beer, and I'm just going to read the rest of this. Bean 72's UFO Extra Imperial Stout. That's what it says. You got your name on one, buddy. There you go. I know he's proud. I know he's a proud man right now. Good old Bean. It was brewed May 2021, matured in keg for 9 months, super high gravity yeast, fed with, okay, so we read all that already. Extra imported stout, Bean 72's, OOTW number 1. That's all the information I have, folks. The only other information I can give you is, how does it taste? Now, I come prepared when it comes to Ola's beers. Let me tell you something. He's very, very good at packaging things. The box, I'm glad I didn't do an unboxing video. It would have been half an hour long. The box was very, very well taped, coming all the way from Norway. And the bottles are all wrapped in plastic and bubble wrap and taped around the thing here. And he's got them very tight. So I've got a pair of, there we go. Just to get it going. Go. There we go. That is the UFO beer right here. Anyone get a lighter? We should get a lighter. Turn off all the lights. Okay, let's give this a whirl, shall we? Make sure I'm absolutely on the right camera here. I have to make absolutely sure everything. Okay, yes, I am. Right. Okay. Let's give this a little pour. Got a cute little glass here. It might not have a lot of foam because high alcohol beers generally don't. This would be considered a barley liqueur. That's what I'd call it. Pour a little bit in here. Oh, it's got a little bit of foam on it. That's nice. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, that's going to do it for now. I'll sit down with this later after my show while I'm cooking my steak. There we go. Oh, yeah, it smells like a porter, that's for sure. Or a stout. It has a very, doesn't really smell like coffee. Doesn't smell like coffee. I'm not good at describing smells. Although I do a smell. It's too bad Manda's not here. She has a label for me. No, I'm going to take it easy on this. I'm not going to be slurring my speech. Maybe in the last half hour of my cast. Okay, ready? Let's give it a whirl, guys. Thank you, Bean. Celebrations are in order. Thanks, Ola, for you guys both coming up with a brand new first-time beer. There's no other like it in the world or out of the world either. Here goes. Whoa. Can't taste the alcohol in it. I know it's got it in it. It's very smooth. Very smooth. Chewy. Yes, it's chewy. It's a meal in a glass. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got to be careful with this stuff right here. That's delicious. It's delicious. Does it have any see-throughness to it? It's a little, yep, it's a porter. You can just barely see through it. You won't be able to see it on camera here. But a shot glass would be a good idea too, but then you'd have to do it all at once. I didn't want to choke it back. I wanted to do it slowly and just sip on it. That's really good. It has an amazing mouthfeel. In other words, it's thicker. It's not thin. It's not a thin beer. It's got a very, nice, smooth mouthfeel. A great flavor. The coffee is just in there. It doesn't taste like coffee. It has coffee notes in it. And it's definitely a porter with coffee notes. And I can already feel a bit of a, slight buzz. And for me, that's a lot because I'm practically immune to alcohol. So that's great. Congratulations, you and Ola, Bean. It's a fantastic beer. Woo! Wow. And you know what? It doesn't burn going down. Very easy to drink. And if you didn't know it had 20% alcohol, you'd be in big trouble because the next thing you know, you'd be on the floor. It's a creeper beer. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's there a lot coming at you. It's definitely smooth for a 20% beer because I've bought 20% liqueurs before, and you can you can feel them going down. Very smooth. It only tastes like an 8% or 8 to 10% beer, but I know you guys aren't making that up. It's I can feel. In fact, if I finish this off, I'll definitely be taking a little break from drinking anything for a little while. It's delicious. I'd put this on ice cream, man. It's beautiful. As it warms up, it gets even better. Very good. Nice stuff. This should be on the market. That beer should be on the market. That's probably why he didn't give me the exact recipe, because you never know, right? Patent pending, right? So very nice. What a great way to make a beer. Halfway around the world, two guys come up with an idea through conversations on Skype, and there, lo and behold, almost a year later, there is a beer that is out of this world. Well, there you go. There you go. And I just realized I didn't bring myself a pair of pliers because Ola is really, really strong. He's a very strong fella. And he screws these things on so tight. But that's a good thing because you don't want it leaking and everything on the way over here. So there you have it. There's the story behind the beer. And I'm going to open this. I've been waiting to do this because I'm a little sensitive to caffeine. And I don't want to do this too close to bedtime. But I can't drink a beer in the morning either. I mean, we've all done that. But usually we don't, right? But so I've picked this time to do it. And let's give this a whirl. I got it. Okay, got a little bit of a fizz, a little bit of a hiss there. And, whoops. There. This is good beer. Really is. I'm so lucky to be able to drink this. And, I've got a frosted glass here. Didn't really know what kind of glass to use for this time. So, it's frosted, meaning I put it in the freezer for a while. It's not actually permanently frosted. So now there's not much foam or anything on this beer because when you're talking about 20% alcohol, but also what I noticed about it is it has a really nice body to it. It's for a beer that's got so much alcohol in it. It has a very nice mouthfeel. It's not thin tasting, if you know what I mean. So this has been in my fridge for over a month, probably 2 months now. Let's give this a whirl, shall we? My goodness, fellas and ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's really good. Just as good as that's probably even better than it was last time. Let me see if I can get the rest in here. I'm not too concerned about there. I don't know if there's sediment. Probably not. Nope, there's no sediment. He probably bottled it from the keg. I have a kegging tip, by the way, for those of you who keg. Some of you may find this useful and some of you might not. But this video might be long because I got a lot of things to tell you. So sit back and relax. Or you can watch it in parts. Okay. This is an amazing experience. And, I don't drink coffee. So I told these guys, you don't have to send me this beer if you don't want. It's okay. I trust you. But no, they had me in mind when they were making this beer. And Chris and Ola couldn't wait for me to try it. And so I am taking a chance here. This will last me. I don't think there's that much coffee in it, really. Probably about as much as a piece of dark chocolate. And this glass is, it's thick glass. So it looks like there's more in there than what there actually is. So I'm not too concerned about it. But if I get halfway down, I can always cover it, put it in the fridge. Anyway, let's go for this again. Oh my God. It's kind of, I forget what I said in that last video you just saw. I haven't watched it since I recorded it. It's got a bit of a spiciness to it. And I hope I say the same thing now that I did then. First of all, it's got a bit of a spiciness to it. Not a burn, but it's got a spike to it, which is nice. That's probably the alcohol. It's fairly sweet. And again, I don't remember what was the information that was given in the previous video you just saw. I'm just going off of memory here. Very well balanced beer. Very, it's a treat. When YouTube took down my YouTube channels, I said, okay, well, you know what? That's a sign for me. It's time to move on. So, they gave me my channels back a week later. I know what happened, but I can't really explain it because it involves, it's better off if I just tell you, I think I know what happened. I didn't expect it to happen. And I'm glad I got my channels back. So, that's a good thing. So, but after that happened, I had already decided to endeavor to, work on some other things. Excuse me, you drink beer, you burp. But I'm still going to do it. Don't worry. And I have another channel on Rumble as well. That one is a little more controversial. My handle on Rumble is Craig Tubes with an S on the end. And you may or may not want to watch those. Of course, I still brew beer. I brew the Cooper's kits all the time. They make the best beer kits, in my opinion. Although there's some others out there that make good ones too. Muntins makes good beer kits. There's one called Brew Canada, which is Canadian. They make pretty good ones too. So, there's a few others, but I like the Coopers because I have access to them, and, I get them for a good price. And I buy the cans of Coopers. I buy the dextrose. I make it the way it says to make it on the can, and I get good results. I get great results. They've improved their yeast. Thank goodness. Their yeast is much better now, and the beer tastes less canned, if you will. So, oh my God. And I make my wine too. I got a batch of wine going downstairs right now. It's a red wine. Pinot Noir. That's how you pronounce it. I'm not a big French guy. And I've got a batch of Coopers going down there as well. So it's just down in the dungeon downstairs. I'm in my living room right now. So, and that's that. Now, kegging. I've been kegging my beers for 10 years now, or longer now. I've been kegging my beer for probably longer than 10 years, maybe 12, 13, 14 years. And, I have the same 2 kegs that I've always had, and they still work great. Had to replace the gaskets and stuff on them. For those of you who do keg your beer, I want to give you a little tip, okay? The other day, here's what I do when I keg my beers. Because a lot of people, what they do is they put the beer in the keg, and then they put some CO2 on it, and they turn it up to certain, whatever PSI they use, and they leave it in the refrigerator for either overnight, or if they're doing it at a low PSI, they can do it for a week or something like that. And it'll slowly carbonate the beer. I don't always have time to do that. Sometimes I'm between batches, and I'm like, oh no, I got no beer. And the weekend's coming up, so I have to carbonate it quickly. I don't want to buy beer because it's way too expensive here. So what I do is I put the CO2 on the keg, turn it up to 30 PSI, pounds per square inch, and I just rock the keg on the floor like this, and it shakes it, and it forces carbonation into the keg. And I actually put the CO2 on the line connection instead of the CO2 connection on the keg. That way the CO2 is being added from underneath, and it has to go up through the beer, and hopefully that helps it acclimate into the beer. What I noticed is that when you take the CO2 off, you put your keg back in the refrigerator, you release the pressure with the pressure release valve, you get beer everywhere. It sprays all over the place. It, leaks out and runs down the side. It's a big mess, and it's a bit of a pain. Here's how to avoid that. I just learned it, and I just tried it. I didn't learn it. I thought of it. When you take the CO2 off of your keg, continue to shake the keg for about 30 more seconds. That'll get all that CO2 that's trapped up on top into the beer. And then when you pull the relief valve, all you get's a psh, and that's all you get. No spraying, no fuss, no muss. I tried that, and it works like a charm. After almost 15 years of kegging beer, I never knew this until I tried it, and it does work. So if you are having a problem with that, that's how you avoid that. Okay? So I don't have anything else really. I just wanted to come on and say hello and make sure you guys know I'm still here. I'm still fine. My vinyl TV channel has not had a post in over a year. Same thing. I moved on from vinyl and took on some other hobbies and some other interests. I still listen to vinyl, and I still love music, of course, but I've found other ways to fill up my time in that. So, but again, I'm not abandoning the channel, this one or that one. In fact, I got these speakers from Fluence. It's a company that makes turntables and speakers and audio equipment. And they sent me these. This is just one of them. The other one's over there. And I've got them hooked up to my, I've got a 65-inch Samsung TV here. I think it's probably off camera. Yeah. And I've got them hooked up, and we got good old not surround sound, but good sound on the old TV there. No, I don't have cable. I do not have cable. I have a Roku, and I have the internet. So I watch YouTube. I watch Rumble. I watch Netflix and stuff like that on my TV. So I don't subscribe to any cable networks or anything like that, because got rid of cable a long time ago. Cut that cord a long time ago. So anyway, these speakers are I'm testing them, really. They gave them to me. And so I've been using them, and I really like them. Fluence AI60 is the model of these speakers. And I will be doing a full review of these on my vinyl TV channel, because that's what I promised them I would do. If they sent me speakers, I'm going to review them, and I'm going to give my honest opinion. So far, I really like them. How about we do this? If you've made it this far in the video, you deserve this. If you've got anything you want to ask me, post it in the comments down below. I'll keep track of this video for a couple of weeks. I'll keep an eye on the comments. And if you have any questions you want to ask me about just about anything, like brewing or anything else, like I'm good at audio stuff. I'm pretty good at I don't know, just whatever. Just ask me anything, and if I don't want to answer it, I won't. But and I'll answer your questions. There's a good idea. That'll get me on here again in a couple weeks with some of your questions and some answers to that. How's that sound? So send your questions into the comments down below. And if you haven't done it already, like the video, please, and subscribe to the channel. And that way, click the bell. That way you'll be notified every time I post a new video, which isn't all that often, unfortunately. But I will still be here, and I will still be posting. So there's lots of stuff out there to watch, and lots of interesting things going on these days. What is becoming of this world? I don't know. Oh boy, I could get into some stuff, but I promised I wouldn't do it on this channel. That's my Rumble channel. So that's my channel on Rumble called Craig Tubes. And listen, don't dislike me because of my views on things. That's not the way this is supposed to work. You want to talk about home brewing? You want to talk about audio equipment or audio speakers, televisions, things like that? This is your channel, or my vinyl TV channel is there too. If you want to hear a more personal account of my opinions on the world and the way it works, then you want to go over to Rumble and search for Craig Tubes. Please don't be offended by it. If you don't agree with it, just turn it off. Don't watch it. And then come back here and enjoy a beer with me. I'm catching a buzz off this beer. I better get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon. Stay tuned. Stay subscribed. I won't let you down. Cheers.